Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Remy with Level 1. We're bringing back the Level 1 podcast. So it's me, we have Rob,
What's going on, guys?
and we have Andy.
What's up?
So we're going to go over a couple topics that we've seen in the past week or so. So the big one that we waited for a long time was the Nintendo Switch announcement. So it was essentially the Nintendo NX, and then for the longest time, with all these rumors, and now they finally announced the Nintendo Switch. It's a handheld console that can dock, to your house and play on the big screen, or you could take it with you. So what are we thinking about that?
I think it's actually a pretty cool design. It's intuitive because you can actually have mobile gaming on the go, literally have multiple players playing on two different Switches. You can have a 4-player or 8-player 4v4 or whatnot, which is pretty cool, but the only thing is, the controllers are so small and hard to play. I know a big guy like me with big hands is gonna have issues using those controllers.
Yeah, so this thing, your screen with the controls, which are called Joy-Con controller or whatever, on the side that kind of snap in and out of it, it's not too comfortable to kind of play it as a joystick compared to using an Xbox One controller or a PS4 controller, but it's one of those things you probably have to feel to really get a hold of. I just don't know the weight of the entire thing, because it's an actual legit handheld thing that's probably the size of an iPad, it looks like. And you're kind of you go around. They had the video going with people playing it in the street while they were having a basketball game. Weird scenarios, and the way they targeted too was a very millennial kind of person. It's not targeted towards kids, but it's not really
gamers either. Yeah,
they had hardcore game, Skyrim was shown, but I think that was just a representation.
Also, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna actually look that good on the actual game.
Yeah,
I find funny about that commercial is the very end where this girl gets a call from her friends to come over for a barbecue, and she brings back, and everyone else goes around her. It's yeah, we're at a barbecue. Bring your game.
You would decide on that, yo, I'm gonna bring that. The minute you get out of your car, you're this is a terrible idea.
Now I have to watch this so no one walks out with it.
I'm gonna leave this in my car so no one can get their greasy fingers on it.
This is true. They should just show the aftermath, yo, who stole my shit? Because essentially, that's all you need.
Yes. I don't know. I know they also asked the head of Nintendo, is it supposed to replace the 3DS? And he said no. So where does it fit if it's not replacing the 3DS? What is this?
Yes, it's a gaming console, but yes, you can also take it on the go. Same the PlayStation and how the Vita you could actually do a remote play.
I thought the Vita stuff was really dying at this point. That remote play would have worked if it essentially just let you use it anywhere. And I know people that would trick it to you could just walk out with the connection and be anywhere with it, as long as you don't disconnect and you're fine. Which is crazy, but that's essentially how it should really let you play. I feel like it's really supposed to replace the Wii U. It's supposed to give you that versatile of go anywhere. Funny enough though, with this, I actually looked at it I had this idea for this way before. I actually thought that when Xbox 360 had smart glass, they initially came out and they talked about the 2-screen experience, things like Forza and stuff like that. You had the map and you could interact with it, and it interacts with the screen. Essentially, their next console was gonna actually have shit going on an iPad and stuff versus the damn game, and they never really did that. The smart glass is kind of just an app, and so this looks like the fruition of what it would be having something at home and then taking it with you.
One more thing about the Nintendo Switch is but what's the battery life? If you're playing these high-res games on the go with controller support, what's the battery life going to be like?
Don't worry, Nintendo got you covered. They're going to be making those rechargeable backpacks that you carry while you're walking around with this thing. Super heat sink your back too.
That's where Nike.
No, they got they're getting their batteries from the Samsung Galaxy company. That's where they're getting them from. So you don't have to worry about it dying. You have to worry about dying yourself.
This shit doubles as a jetpack now. You're oh shit, hidden features. And so I mean, I guess we're gonna wait for more news. It's supposed to release March 2017. It's supposed to be making another press conference around January, talking about more of it. But I mean, the way it looked was like you had a console that was at home. The person was able to take it with them. You played all these like games that you would play on the Xbox One or the PS4, which is very questionable if it'll do that. And then I guess you have a console on the go. I don't know how long it lasts or anything else. That's a good question. Yeah. So I guess next up we have, as of I think Monday, Bethesda announced that they were going to change the review policy, and now they're not going to give early copies to their review games. They're going to give media review copies of the games the same day that the game is released to the public, and that started a giant uproar with obviously the media community and how that's not something they should do, because covering this kind of news is very important. But how does anyone else kind of feel about it?
I feel like they're trying to like get the customers like, you're not gonna get this bad review. You're gonna buy this game off of hype. You know what I'm saying? Like they think that that's gonna work.
Yeah, I won't lie. It does kind of work in the sense where I'm like, I've been excited for games or even movies where I'm like, I'm gonna go see that day one. Legit, if 2 reviews say it's like this shit is awful, I'm like, I'm deterring away from that whole thing. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I mean, I don't know, because like Fight Club got terrible reviews, Step Brothers got terrible reviews. Those are movies that I loved, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like, you
true.
can't
You're
always
right.
go like that. Like, look at Doom. They didn't do it with Doom, give it to anyone beforehand, and I didn't feel like it changed anything, honestly.
I think this is gonna be really different for everybody. It's going to be definitely a game changer for the entire situation for everybody across the board, because first, Bethesda's going to be creating games and waiting for everyone to play it. But you also have to think of like on sales sides, they're going to be taking a hit because not everybody's going to buy their game right off the bat. Like, don't get me wrong, they have a lot of AAA titles that are amazing, but it's only until after like either big streamers or big companies rate their game to be amazing or not amazing, which can definitely hurt or help them depending on how well they've marketed their product.
What's also interesting is like who's gonna copy them now. Bethesda's the first one to do it. Next thing you know, like another game company is gonna be like, yeah, we're not doing it either.
So that's why I think they actually, the media is in an uproar, because they want to nip it in the bud before it gets out of control, and then all of a sudden people start copying them. They're like, no, this shit is important. You need to just either change your policy or we're just going to eat you alive. Talking about, because a couple companies, or at least online medias and stuff like that, have publicly announced that they would not review their games anymore because of it. And that's literally, I think, a direct response because of the fact that they think that other companies will probably follow suit.
What about this company that's giving them the credibility to say, hey, you're not getting our game until everyone gets their game? It's a big stand for them, but also as for gamers, I think it's a plus because it's almost like going to a movie theater. It's all word of mouth. I think that's what they're trying to strive for. So friends can tell friends how much of a good or bad experience they have.
You're right. Sometimes I would rather honestly hear nothing about it. I just know my whole notion changed of doing that when Fantastic Four came out, because that was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen, like of any superhero movie to date. Even it was still worse than Batman Superman, and that was bad. So you saying it's gonna hit them hard, like in a bad way? I actually think the opposite. Bethesda's a company where they really have made really good games. They're like in the same stance as Rockstar. So if Rockstar wanted to turn around and say tomorrow that they were not going to do the same thing, they still sell 50 million copies between like 4 years.
Yeah,
of
Grand
any
Theft Auto
game they
6
make.
is gonna be like game of the year.
Yeah, like
anyway, yeah.
It wouldn't even matter. And even if the game sucked, they would actually benefit from the fact that tons of people would buy that game day one just because it's Rockstar and they make quality games. So Bethesda's in a very sweet spot. If they make 1 or 2 bad games as of this point, then it'll hit them. People are gonna be like, nah, I'm waiting for a review. And at that point, you're waiting too long. If a game like Skyrim or like the next Fallout, and it takes you like 2 weeks to complete, and the next AAA title comes out, that's it. Like, I'm getting the next AAA title, especially when that review's out day one.
I was also gonna say that with the streaming thing, I think they definitely do want to push that because people make a lot more money now off of streaming than previously.
Yeah,
but you know what else? You know what else it affects though? It affects the guides. Like the people that make the guides when the game come out, they get it early. Like the media, like IGN and GameSpot, they play it and then they like upload those guides immediately for people that are getting it and can't beat it. But now they're gonna be affected with those guides if they don't get it ahead of time. You know? Yeah. Like how do they tell you what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like all the secret content. Where do you find this? Like they can't tell you because they just got it when you got it. Players make their own guides. Like
yeah, it's a blow to the industry.
Yeah.
Yo, it does mess them up.
Yeah.
Think about the community of modders though. They have to wait much longer before they can make a mod. Even looking at like Fallout 3 or Fallout 4 or whatever, the community strives on having the game and trying to build mods around that. Even
I mean, they even promote mods themselves now.
Exactly. So it's going to take them even longer for mods to occur.
Unless you have a PS4, then you're fucked.
You're never getting that.
You can sleep well at night knowing you ain't getting anything.
I'm okay with this.
Okay. Alright, so I mean, who knows if they're gonna change the policy or not? I mean, people are really talking about it. It's more of like they don't want to either review their stuff or this is really gonna hurt them in the long run. Only time will tell. They're not gonna change anything now, and they're in their legal right to do this, so it's not like they can't do it.
Yeah.
Alright, so moving on, we saw 2 new game releases this week. Titanfall 2, which is a big release. This is literally what, 3 years after? The first one came out, Xbox exclusive. No campaign single player really. You just play that game multiplayer, and that pretty much is the game that started most of those games now coming out multiplayer when they did. Now you have Overwatch, you had Evolve.
That one game that Overwatch killed inadvertently, Battleborn.
Bloodborne. Literally like a ninja strip, like just stabbed that in the heart.
It was just like collateral damage. Like Overwatch just dropped and it was like they just died.
Bloodborne was deep impact and Overwatch is like Armageddon. Like that's what happens. Completely
People were like, come on, man, they got Bruce Willis. Like,
I'm not even caring for who dies in the other movie. Titanfall 2 now, I mean, what the big things they added was the campaign and everything else. I mean, and you got the game. How's it so far?
The campaign so far is actually pretty decent, even though like I wasn't expecting much from it because the first one didn't even have a campaign, you know? So I figured they wouldn't waste too much time on it. But it's been pretty cool so far. It's all right.
Okay.
The online play though is a little bit different. The ranking system is kind of dumb now. It's not even based. It's not based off of XP the way you rank up now. You legit have to like do good in the game and you get points, like these badges, and that's how you rank up.
Yeah. So what I've heard
like,
is it's merit based. So you literally have to play as a team or complete like certain things before
challenges. Like you have to like up like if you level up a gun, you get like a merit badge for that. If you like kill 10 titans or whatever, you completed that challenge, you get a merit badge, and like that's how you rank up.
Oh
so
shit,
I
really?
could like go crazy and kill like 80 people.
You've done nothing to help your cause.
You pretty much know, like unless you've completed challenges while doing that, you've done nothing.
That's crazy. I've demolished
it's
an entire
weird.
team. First place, but I didn't tie my shoes during the match. I ain't get up.
It was like it was weird. Although I gotta give that game credit, it's definitely not camper friendly though. It's like it's a real fast paced game. Like everybody's running around and moving. But it's decent. I feel like it's I don't know like what's up with Titanfall or whatever. It's not very like Call of Duty when you go online and like people have mics and people are talking and stuff like that. Titanfall is like a graveyard when you're in the lobbies. Like everyone has a mic, but no one is using it. No one is communicating. You're like playing as a team but by yourself, essentially.
You figure I'm assuming from like other games like Call of Duty and stuff, other people are still trying to communicate with each other.
Yeah, people do a lot more. Even GTA Online, people a lot more vocal on that than even on Call of Duty. But this one's really quiet. Not that you really need to talk. I mean, it's like, how long have these games been around? Like, yeah, if you just picked up a game for the first time in your life, like, then yeah, you probably need to communicate. But it's a solid game. I just feel like, I don't know, something is like missing from the multiplayer. Like, I don't know, I can't put my thumb on it yet, but like there's just something missing. You know, but the thing about like multiplayer games, like if you're gonna play like a online multiplayer game like Halo or Battlefield, like what keeps people playing isn't just the game itself or like the ranking system. It's like the people you're playing with. Like, you look forward to getting on with like your usual friends and like all of you teaming up to play. And like, I don't know, maybe it's just me because, you know, I'm not playing with anyone right now, but I don't know, Titanfall just doesn't have that right now.
I think it's lacking the community. It's still early. I think holiday season, when winter time comes and everyone's locked in the houses and can't get out anywhere, I think that's when you'll see a lot more people.
True, but then by then I'm gonna be on Final Fantasy, so fuck Titanfall 2 when that happens. I'm not gonna be playing it. I'm playing it now. By then I'll be still trying to end Skyrim. Like, you know how much content is on that thing? Like,
yeah. So that was the other game release that came out also on Friday. So Skyrim Remastered, which was supposed to be like a big deal. The fact that, you know, they really redid everything and then added new stuff. But also, Andy, you have, I mean, this is one of your favorite games.
Yeah, so Skyrim is definitely like in my top 5 games, like favorite games all time.
So what did they add to this one?
Supposedly they added a couple new quest lines and like some armor and stuff. But really it's just the whole thing repackaged, everything together, like all the DLC content in one place, all remastered. Honestly, I sort of felt like they started working on this because they felt so bad about how they fucked up with like Tamriel Online. Like, that thing was like just a mess. Like, they tried to dive into MMO and it didn't work as well as they wanted to. And so they were like, let's just take our bestseller and most popular game and remaster it. But then they were like, fuck you, we're charging you $60.
For characters, I didn't really think they touched the characters, did they?
Honestly, when I was looking at it, the characters, like, they changed up like the color and made it like a lot softer and stuff like that. But no, it doesn't look like they changed up the characters too much. I think they focused on. I think they focused on the world. Yeah, like the water and everything. Like, they focused on like the environment, and it was like a huge environment. Like, that game was huge. There's like easily like over 150 hours of like content on that thing.
Damn.
How do you feel about you have to do that all over again?
I mean, I don't mind because Bethesda has that thing with like, they create these worlds with like all this lore. Definitely gets people like sort of addicted to like this world, you know what I'm saying? Fallout, I really like the lore in Fallout. I like reading the stories and finding the characters, and I like playing the next Fallout game and you're like, whoa, I remember this character from 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really get into it. Like, that's what happens when you like love that franchise, really.
So I was even gonna ask you, now the fact that mods are in this Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
The hours has got to go up of how much you can play this game.
Oh, definitely.
Before you continue, sorry PS4.
Yeah. Definitely, because look at Fallout. Like, I'm still not done playing because when they added those mods, I had to go in and make these mods, and I spent days just like modding my character to like I was hitting people and they were flying 100 feet away, or like they have like the Quicksilver mod where you like hit yourself with the jet and everything slows and you can like go punch everyone, and then like you click the button and they all go flying in different directions. Like, damn, it was so much fun, like, that I did none of the story mode for like 2 months, and now I'm like, I should be finished with this game.
Yo, Bethesda messed you up hard on that.
Like, Like
Oh,
people are
man.
creative, man, and that's shout out to Bethesda for doing that. Because a lot of games like they don't want you modding their game, and they don't want you like messing with their software and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, and Unreal was supposed to be really big on that.
Yeah.
Somehow Bethesda just stepped it up and turned it to
Yeah.
11, and they're the ones that actually got it done. All right, I think it looks like we're good with this podcast. It's been a while. Some pretty good points. Nintendo Switch, Bethesda, new policy, and the new games that were released.
Also, if you guys get a chance, drop by our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/LVLONE. We have gamers like Kid Tango, myself, and other people from our community playing games live. So you actually give us some feedback, interactions, and things like that.
Yep, new game releases, everything else, and check us out on our Facebook. Yeah, check us out at Level 1 Gaming News. All right, this is Level 1 signing off.